Hello again. Hello again. We have returned from the weekend. I am back in my hometown of Lafayette, Louisiana, and I found myself getting back into the swing of things rather slowly. I had to, well, one, I had to drive back yesterday. I came back very late in the evening, which was fine because it meant that I got to see one of my friends who I hadn't seen in about 3 years. So that was fun. And then this morning I got up pretty early. Early for me is before 8:30. Actually, really about 9 o'clock. That's early for me. But I got up at around 7 o'clock this morning. Finished unpacking. Went to go get coffee and to do other things. Unfortunately, I was not successful in my endeavors today because there was one that I felt the need to plan out more and to make sure that what I needed to do is exactly what I need to do. And the other thing is that I am on the hunt for sponsors so that am not so indebted going to Ireland. Indebted not in the debt sense, in the like money sense per se. I need help getting there essentially. Uh, but the issue that I have right now is that I don't really know anyone who would be able to help out or who knows people or businesses who might be able to help out. So I will hopefully be able to finish writing my letter probably later today or tomorrow, asking if anyone can help me out in that regard because there is a living tuition cost that I will need to pay. Um, Probably going to be in installments just because of how things are. And, large transactions tend to get looked at funny by banks if you're not like super rich. So there's that. Um, I do also have a GoFundMe link. However, I haven't shared it because of things going on right now. So maybe I will put that back out via social media. And yeah, so I did that. I went to do more planning for my trip. And then I practiced somewhat today. My thumb feels a lot better than it did over the weekend. So that's helpful, but it still kind of hurts. And I have a rehearsal tomorrow, and I also have a recital to play on Wednesday. Thankfully, I am only playing one piece on the recital. It's a piece called Let Me Come In by David Lang. And I am performing this piece with a singer. She asked me if I was available about a couple of months ago. Um, so, yeah, I'll be doing that. That recital is free to attend, I believe. It's going to be at 7 p.m. at Angel Hall. And I do believe that there's about like 7 or 8 pieces that are on this program. I'm doing one. I believe that piece is earlier in the first half of the program, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so that's going to be on Wednesday. That's going to be at 7 p.m. at Angel Hall. If you're free and if you want to come see me perform some contemporary music, other than that, this upcoming weekend, I am surprisingly free for. I do not have anything else scheduled for the time being. Basically, until. What is it? Yeah, basically until I leave. as of right now. That is due to change, probably. Um, but that's just a bit on the music side of what I've been up to. In other news, I have been learning more Danish specifically. Polish has been put a little bit on the back burner right now, just because I don't know if I'll be able to swing into Poland when I am out and about in Europe. We'll see, but I haven't forgotten Polish. It's just taking less of a priority right now. Right now, I am going pretty hard on Danish. I just uploaded the video. It's about a 20-minute long video of me practicing Danish pronunciation with certain phrases and whatnot. And again, that video that I used to practice is by a channel called Danish Mastery, and he has a ton of videos about pronunciation and just basic phrases and whatnot. He's got a lot of stuff on his YouTube channel, and he's been doing it for a while now. So if you want to get some help with learning Danish, that's a good channel that I recommend in order to learn how to practice the pronunciation. And when I'm not learning Danish, I am practicing French, and that's gonna actually lead me into a story. It's a short story. It's not a long story. Not today. Um, but before I left New Orleans, I went to go grab coffee. Um, new Side note: New Orleans has a lot of cafes and bars. You can pretty much find them anywhere in no matter what part of the city you're in. Um, but I went to a small little cafe house, and the when I got in, and it was pretty early. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning, which is a bit early for a Sunday morning in New Orleans. Um, that is a laid back place for sure, which is great for when you want to relax. But if you are go 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 like most people are, New Orleans is probably not the place for you to live in. Um, but yeah, anyways, I'm getting off topic. So I went into this coffee shop, and the people ahead of me, they were asking about a key lime pie that they ordered, and the two of the ladies, well, the one who was at the register, she asked her baker about the key lime pie, but when I was overhearing it, it was in French, and I sort of wasn't sure at first because it was a little loud. There was quite a few people inside and also outside the cafe, but afterwards I ordered my coffee, and I told her thank you, but in French, merci madame, and I think it was a very good surprise for her, because there was something that lit up about her face after I said that, even though I was leaving, and that's just one of the things that really makes me happy, is like being able to connect to people in their like primary language if I can. There's something about it that brings a joy that is unlike most other things in life. So yeah, that's a little side note about that. Then afterwards, I drove about 45 minutes up to Covington and hung out with my friend who I hadn't seen, and it was a good time. We chilled, we caught up about a lot of things, and then I made the drive back to Lafayette. Um, on the way back, however, I there was a stretch of highway on I-12, and it wasn't obvious why everyone slowed down to a crawl. But generally, when that happens, it's usually because there's a stalled out vehicle on the highway or a car crash. I use car crash, not accident, because accidents are um, usually very flowery language. Um, and I don't find that they describe most of the situations when it comes to like vehicular like messes on the highway. Um, so I caught a glimpse of what happened, and I am still baffled by this. But allegedly, from what I could see, uh, there was I think it was a Toyota of some kind. I'm not sure about the maker. It was a white car, and all of the people were fine somehow, but the car was completely in the ditch, like off of the shoulder, and it was freaky because like it wasn't obvious what happened because there I didn't see any skid marks. Granted, the sun was setting, but there were like five police cars and like two fire trucks and an ambulance, all out there. But yeah, that was a little freaky to see. You know, spent my weekend inside of the city of voodoo and then like coming back out of it. So you see stuff like that. But they were all okay for the most part. I'm pretty sure I didn't see any injuries or anything like that. Um, but yeah, you gotta be careful driving, especially here um, down south, especially coming to and from New Orleans. Those guys are nuts. Um, Also, side note with all of that. Um, so I'm going to talk about um, speed limits and whatnot. So, as you know, speed limits exist mostly in most places, right? With I mean, the big exception is the autobahn, right? Um, but sometimes, rather a lot of the times, maybe this is just a thing that I've noticed being living in the United States. That a printed speed limit sign always doesn't always feel correct. Um, and here's a pretty good example. So the road that I take to go shopping and whatnot, and the speed limit on that road is 45 miles per hour. But is it really a road? The That road, you can't see me, but I would say road in air quotes. That road is basically built like a highway, and a lot of the streets in Lafayette are built like this, where at least there are at least 5 lanes, and in both in total at least. Um, so the one I'm thinking of in particular, if you've ever driven down it, you'll know exactly what I mean. Um, but there's 2 lanes on either side, and then there's a middle turning lane on that road that goes basically all the way down, and it's a huge hazard because the road is 45 miles per hour, yet the lanes are wide, and so people will often drive 50, 55, sometimes even 60 miles down the road. And the road isn't straight either. It's sort of bendy, but that's a prime example of what I mean when the speed love saying the speed limit doesn't feel right. Um, and to make things even worse, there are apartment complexes on this road, and a lot of times people will just cut into the other lane if they don't want to wait for the person turning into an apartment complex, right? So you get a lot of people who cut you off because and Lafayette already has a problem of people not using turn signals. It's really bad. Yeah, so there very surprised that one, the speed limit is 45 miles per hour, and two, that um, of just how dangerous it is. But that is not my place, not my monkeys, and it's not my circus because I don't work in that department. I am simply a musician who just happens to notice things. But alas, maybe I should have been an urban engineer or an urban designer, but my math skills for anything advanced is not great. I can't hold that kind of information. But yeah, so that is a bit about my weekend and a little tangents about driving and whatnot. Um, I'll leave with this as departing statements or departing story, I guess. Um, Actually, more of a question. Um, and I post this because I've experienced this. Uh, if living where you are currently, right, just in general, if you didn't have a car, would it be possible? Would it be possible to live essentially? Like, would it be possible to go buy groceries? Would it be possible to see colleagues and friends? Would it be possible to go to work if you didn't have a car? That's the question that I want to pose. Um, for me, that is an absolute no. Um, I have to travel, and the other methods of travel in here are either non existent or basically so rare or so bad that it might as well not exist. Yeah, so I think that will change once I am across the sea, across the ocean, primarily. But yeah, that will be it for me today. I hope you all are doing well, and if you're not doing well, I hope you are in the process of doing better and whatnot. So I am signing off. Do au revoir, and goodbye.